everybody. Welcome to Hallmarkies podcast and Merry Christmas. And today we have another one of these podcaster junket style interviews. Now this is the third that we've done. We did one on the Mistletoe Murders season 2, and we did one on Christmas at Sea. And it's really fun. Hallmark invites a whole bunch of podcasters to interview talent, and we each get to ask a question. So you'll see this exact same podcast with the same questions and the same everything on a bunch of these different podcasters. But hopefully it's a way for you to be introduced to all these cool podcasts and also just to get to see an interesting, fun interview. This one is with Daniel Lissing. It's called Single on the 25th. And it's pretty long, and I was impressed with not only the quality of the questions asked by my fellow podcasters, but with his answers. I thought he gave really thoughtful, funny, insightful, charismatic answers to each of the questions. So I think you will enjoy the interview. Hopefully you like, we each got asked 3 questions. So hopefully you like the 3 questions that I asked. And would love to hear your thoughts about any of the answers that Daniel gave. Of course, we weren't able to dive into When Calls the Heart or some other things that we might have enjoyed being able to do. But he was very charming, and I really enjoyed this movie, Single on the 25th. I thought it was very well written. And so you'll see our recap eventually that we do on it. But it was a lot of fun to participate in this junket. And I appreciate Hallmark for setting it up and allowing us to be a part of it. And for Daniel for spending over an hour with us. Was super nice and grateful. So again, let me know what you think.
Hi, Daniel. I'm Roxanne from Chat with Roxanne, as you can see. I'm so excited for this. I've been dying to talk with you and meet you. I'm
nice to meet you.
A fan forever and ever. So I wanted to ask you more of a leading man question, but because we're promoting your new movie, which I absolutely love, Single on the 25th, I'll go with a different question this time. So all right, you ready? If you were single now on the 25th, what would your perfect Christmas day be like?
Family. That's it. You know, I think it's just all about family at that time of year. So for me, it's, I'd probably go back home to Australia. I would be with my mum and dad and sister and the extended family, and we'd eat and we'd drink and we'd enjoy the Australian summer, you know?
Yes. Barbecue. Would you have a barbecue?
Barbecue. We usually have the barbecues. You know, of course, they've just started leaf blowing right outside my office right now.
Can't hear it. It's all right.
So you can't hear it? All right, no. That's good.
I've had that happen to me. You're good.
Yeah, of course. It's literally, I can see outside. Anyway, so that's it, you know, like the Australian summer and barbecues. And we used to go over to my uncle and auntie's house and have like a pool party and, you know, all that kind of good stuff that happens through the summer.
Sounds good. Thanks.
Yeah, of course.
Okay. Oh, sorry. Stephanie, go ahead.
Hi, Daniel. This is Stephanie from Heart in Motion podcast. It's good to meet you.
Yeah, nice to meet you too, Stephanie.
So here's my question. This movie really focuses in on 2 neighbors who form this unexpected friendly singles partnership. So what do you think audiences are going to enjoy most about the connection between Nell and Cooper?
Yeah, you know, this is one of those scripts that I read that I love that it was just a little different in regards to the way that these 2 characters connect, right? So usually it's this meet cute and there is kind of romance on the table for both of these people that meet in these movies. But what I liked about this aspect is that we've got a guy, my character, that is really, you know, I gave him a backstory that wasn't on the page that made him kind of like happy to and really content being on his own and realizing, hey, you know, I'm filling my cup up right now. You know, I don't really need or want a relationship. And, you know, when he, obviously there's attraction and you know, my thing was this guy doesn't have trouble with the ladies, so he's gonna, in his flirtatious, confident way, say, hey, like, it's actually great being single. It's super
Yeah.
fun. You don't actually need anyone. There's a lot of different ways to love and be loved outside of that intimate relationship. And I can relate to that because I've felt like that through my life, and certainly through periods after relationships. I'm like, I'm so happy being single right now, and that's what the energy that I sort of came in. But obviously, as these two people spend more time together, you know, I don't want to give away the movie at the end of the movie, but there is a really sweet realization in the kind of what deep down in the core these characters really want, and I think they're both fighting against it a little bit for self-preservation.
Yeah. Thanks.
Okay, Sarah from Suspenders Unbuttoned.
Sure. Actually, go ahead, Julie.
Oh, Julie, they're a package deal.
Yes, we've met before. Hi.
Yes. Hi, I'm Julie from Suspenders Unbuttoned. So nice to see you again, Dan.
Yeah, you too, Julie. Yeah.
This was a kind of fun movie, and that there are some great awkward moments between Nell and Cooper. As an actor, what do you really like about those scenes?
Well, working with an actor like Lindsay was a pleasure because she's got such great timing and comedy chops, and we had a great director that enabled us to just play, and so Lindsay and I were on set, and we can't control what the edit is going to be at the end. We don't control anything other than being on set, standing on our marks, and saying our lines and behaving in a way that is most true to us in that moment. But it was fun. It was really fun for us because we milked it, and we were able to just sort of Jonathan Wright, the director, was just like, just play. You guys got it. You know what you're doing. And so we were able to, we ad-libbed a lot of stuff. We sat in moments that ordinarily, we're kind of instructed to fill the space with these kind of movies with dialogue and information. No, we didn't need that because we had the relationship, and those awkward moments landed because we were able to use the silence and the, what am I going to say? How do I approach this moments that you can read? And that, I think that was a really fun part of the process of just being able to sort of sit in those moments and feel awkward because you're like there going, whose line it is? It's your line, but you're thinking all this stuff, and then it just translates really nicely. And yeah, I love that aspect of play. Yeah, that was good.
Okay,
We love
Catherine. Oh, sorry, were you not?
Did you follow up, Julie?
I just said we love that too.
Oh, good.
Hi, Daniel. I'm Catherine with Romcom Love. I'm the newbie who doesn't know how to change my name in Teams. I Zoom host
no
all
worries.
day. So
No, nice to meet you, Catherine.
nice to meet you. My question is, can you share, without giving away too much, your favorite saying or activity that Cooper encouraged Nell with, that if you were facing the holidays by yourself, you would embrace yourself?
Okay, I'm not sure I quite understand.
Oh,
the question.
so Cooper says along the lines of, we all have places we belong, and then
slots in life.
to be alone in our, So is there
Sure,
one
sure.
of those, or the
Yes.
activity that you would embrace?
Oh, I got you. Yeah, thanks for clarifying. This character was pretty like adamant, going, everyone's got their places in life, they've got their slots in life, and you can kind of like you can fit in those places and you can make the best of those places, but you got to choose where you belong. And once you choose where you belong, own it. Don't just do it half-heartedly. And so that's, I think, that energy he came with. But there was like, personally, I need my alone time. I just do. I need to recharge. I need to get away from everyone and everything to recenter myself sometimes. I think it's important. I usually find those moments in nature or through meditation or, watching a movie, listening to music. And so when Cooper kind of says, being alone is the best company, I can relate to that. Sometimes it is. Sometimes, my wife's in the other room right now. And we spend so much time together, but we both understand that, like, hey, you have to have that autonomous time to just recharge whatever you need to recharge within yourself so that you can give when you're around others, whether it be an intimate relationship or whether you're socializing, whatever it is. So yeah, I like my alone time.
All right.
Rachel.
Okay, I am Rachel with Hallmarkies podcast, and there's a point in this movie where you're kind of giving her a lesson on on how to handle the company party. So I'm curious, what do you think is the best topic for small talk? What do you think's a good
topic for small talk?
Yeah, like at a party.
At a party?
Yeah, when you're trying to
Yeah, kind of fit into a crowd that you don't know. Yeah, I without tooting my own horn, I think I've always been like socially good. Like, I can social code well, and I've always found that, as I've gotten older as well, especially in the more life experience you have, you can kind of like fit into any room. And I think the key to that is just being interested in other people. When you take this sort of thing off yourself and don't think, how does this jacket look? Am I okay? Do I have anything on my face? Blah, blah, blah. Am I going to say something stupid? Forget all that. What I find really works in any kind of small talk or social situation is just be curious. That's it. Like, just, I think I'm a pretty giving human being, and with my energy and time after my alone time. But I think that's it. So for me, it's I let it happen organically, and I just kind of like go into whatever situation with an open kind of mind and don't take the focus off myself and put it on them. Let you have the pressure of like talking. You know what I mean? And so then you can sort of fit into any situation with ease because you're just curious.
I think that's good advice. I think one of the big advantages of being a movie fan is you always have something to talk about.
Yeah.
You can always ask, what's your favorite movie? What do you like?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that kind of stuff. It's funny thing, I talked about this with my buddy the other day, that, one of the great, we've got a lot of great things as human beings, as a culture, and especially living in nowadays. We've just got access to so much. We've accomplished so many things through the millennia, but there's something, and this is why I'm in this industry, about movies and TV shows and good books and music. It's the creative arts. It's that thing that comes from the heart, goes to the heart. And, when I look at the big picture of us as a whole, like that stuff, that creative stuff connects everyone. It connects us all. And so you're exactly right. You can talk about that creative works with anyone, no matter where they're from. We can all have a love for the arts, and that's something that I think that's why this industry and being a part of it is so special.
Okay, great. And on to Megan.
Hi, Daniel. I'm Megan from Girls Gone Hallmark. Nice to meet you.
Hey, Megan.
Let's talk a little bit about let's rewind it a little bit. Last year, you made your triumphant return to Hallmark. I know When Calls the Heart fans were thrilled to see you back with Aaron Krakow in Santa. Tell me, what did it
Yeah.
feel like to step back into the Hallmark family after a little time away?
It was great. Yeah, I think Hallmark they're the best in the business at these rom-com movies, and certainly the Hallmark movies. This model is something that all the streamers now are trying to emulate because it's got so much success. And I've got I've got a really good relationship with Hallmark through the years, and I had gone off and really put my head down and focused on a lot of things behind the camera, writing and producing, and I've got a lot of projects on the go because of that period of time. I did a little job here and there, but I shifted my focus a little bit. But when I had the opportunity to go back and work with Hallmark again, and certainly when they called me for this film as well, I was really grateful and excited because it's just it's really fun. It was really fun to work with Erin again too. It was great to meet Lindsay and work with her. And then of course, when like any of these jobs that you do, you end up spending so much time with the cast and the crew of these. That's why being on a television show, they become your family after however many years. Really, when you're on it, you're just in the trenches together every day, which is a beautiful thing. But going back to Hallmark for me is super special, and I've actually, on the other side of things, I'm pitching and a few projects for them, and hopefully developing some things with them next year as a writer and producer. So, I hope our relationship continues to grow as an actor, and all of the above.
Thank you.
Hey, we're back to Roxanne.
Okay, so back to Single on the 25th, which I thought had like a very modern and classy vibe, embracing being single instead of like being sad. And I was thinking, did they put the sets to be, they were so classy and modern. I wanted to know, I always want to know about the sets. Like, were those real apartments side by side? Like, where was the scenery was gorgeous. What can you like share?
I can share it all.
All right.
This is one of the things I think people, directors and producers, this is just an opinion, don't spend enough time on location scouting. They just, sometimes they're like, all right, we can get this place, and it's a really tough job to find great locations. Now, we happen to be shooting in Montreal, which exterior wise is just a gorgeous city. We played it for Chicago, but Jonathan Wright, the director, along with Muse, the producers up there, Jesse and his team, spent a good amount of time in pre-production location scouting. And so, yes, everything you see is like a legit restaurant, a legit bar. We actually ate at that restaurant. I don't know if you've all seen the movie, but the apartments were actual people's apartments, and in this really cool part of town. And they just spent time finding these venues. This Christmas party that we end up going to was an actual entertainment venue. So we were shooting in real places. We didn't, I'm just trying to think. I don't think we did really one shot on, on a set.
Mm-hmm.
We were shooting on location. And when we shot in the office, it was in this gorgeous office in downtown, And so, they spent time location scouting to find the right venues to elevate the scope of the movie. And so when you're able to, it's such an important story point. It just elevates what we're doing on the page, because if you've got the right location that is true to the script, then you're laughing. You don't have to worry about that because it does a lot of the work for you. So yeah, really grateful for that. I found that in my same with the one with Aaron. So I mean, since I've been back at Hallmark, it's just been stellar in that aspect of things. But it's really important for storytelling.
I loved it. I thought it was like perfect. Thank you.
We'd like to take a second to thank our sponsor for this episode of the podcast. It's Savannah Carlyle and her new book, Christmas at Pine Ridge Inn. Cozy up this holiday season with a book readers say is bursting with Christmas magic, small town charm, and heartwarming found family moments. When a baby quilt leads Latha McAllister to Pine Ridge, Colorado in search of the birth mother who placed her up on Christmas Day 34 years ago, she expects to find answers about why she was placed for adoption. Not a cozy inn that feels like home, a stubbornly charming innkeeper, and a holiday season full of surprises, brimming with holiday magic, heartwarming emotion, and a setting as cozy as drinking hot cocoa by the fire, readers say this story will stay with you long after the last chapter. Visit SavannahCarlyle.com to grab your copy and go on a mental vacation today. That's SavannahCarlyle.com, Christmas at Pine Ridge Inn, or you can use the affiliate link below.
Okay, Stephanie.
So this is not your first Christmas role. I'm curious, is there something that this role let you tap into that maybe you hadn't experienced before, or there's something looking back on the project that you were really excited to be a part of?
You know, I knew of Jonathan Wright before, and I knew of Lindsay before, and you know, I wanted to work with them anyway. So that was the first thing. The second thing was that it was a different kind of story. It was a different kind of script that allowed, you know, I don't want to say that Cooper was a bit of an ass, but he was, you know, a bit of an ass. A little bit. And I like that. I like that, you know, there's got to be an edge to a character that, you know, that I can dig into a little bit, and then I've got more journey to kind of go to that place of vulnerability and openness and whatever you know we end up with. But yeah, I kind of liked his. I don't know if it translates. I did my best job, you know, that I could have at the moment, but you know, I hope it translates that, you know, when he's at work, he's a certain kind of like guy, and then when he's a little bit more loose and silly when he's with Nell. And so, you know, I liked that. I liked that there was different energies to kind of place into it. So yeah, that's what I really liked about this one.
It translated.
Okay, good.
Okay, Suspenders Unbuttoned.
Okay. Hi, Dan. Sarah from Suspenders and Button. Nice to see you again.
Nice to see you too, Sarah.
It's so you touched on this a little bit earlier about the comedic moments, but one thing that really stood out to me personally while watching Single on the 25th was all the kind of quiet moments where Nell and Cooper were able to sit and kind of breathe in the moment and then have these little conversations where you really started to feel their relationship develop. It didn't feel rushed. So what do you like about filming those types of scenes that end up coming across maybe a little bit more intimate than we usually get to see on screen?
Crucial. That kind of storytelling is crucial. It's not the words on the page. It's all the stuff in between the lines that matters, in my opinion, until you're really saying what your heart is saying. But a lot of the time, I don't spend enough time in those moments and really sit in the relationship of what we're not saying. And I was just lucky to work with Lindsay because she's so talented. We both really got each other as actors. You know, we're already talking about other projects that we might tackle together. And so working with an actor like her is easy because you're only really, when you sort of get to a certain level, it really is about responding to the person opposite you or the people opposite you with your own stuff that you bring to it, sure. But if you can look into another actor's eyes and they are there with you, they are there in the moment, and they get what we're trying to accomplish in the scene, then you can put all that technical stuff aside and just be there and feel it and go with it. And so, yeah, that was great. And again, I keep talking about Jonathan, the director, because he allowed me and Lindsay to have our say, if you know what I mean, in regards to like, I want to play it this way. I want to take a long moment here. I want to da 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 da. Because you read it as an actor as well, and you've got a job to do. You say your lines, and occasionally it feels like a more collaborative process, and that's what really turns me on. I love the collaboration. I love actors and directors and crews getting together and going, all right, how can we all collaborate on this like scene or story and make it the best it can be, so yeah, sometimes that works and sometimes it doesn't, and sometimes it's in the middle, but it's a pursuit of it that's great. So yeah, I love that aspect of it.
Yeah, we talk with a lot of people, and that's one thing we've learned is that actors really love when they're given that time to kind of sit and breathe in the moment. So it was so fun to see so much of that in this movie.
Yeah, good one. I think every actor feels the same way. Exactly. If we can just kind of like have a go at it and just sit in those moments. But yeah, it's good. These are great questions, everyone. By the way, I'm just like getting all of them really in depth and cool.
Okay, Catherine.
Okay, so this movie is based off of the song Single on the 25th. So if there was a holiday song with either deep meaning or fun, like Grandma Got Ran Over by a Reindeer, what kind of would there be a movie that would be brought to life from a song in your world, like for
Sure.
project wise?
Is it well, I'm not sure if there's a Christmas song, if there's an Aussie Christmas song, I'm not sure. But that was great. I actually, I got an opportunity to hang out with Lauren and her manager and the representative from Warner Brothers, I think, came along. We all went out for dinner one night after shooting, and it was really sweet young artist. She's supremely talented, and that scene with her singing is one of my favorite scenes that we did in the movie. I thought it was like right on the money, and of course music elevates it all. But for me, I don't know. I couldn't. Nothing that I can think of that hasn't kind of been done with all the famous songs. But if there was a song, I'm Jewish, my wife's Christian, we have Chrismukkah, and I think there should be a great Chrismukkah movie out there, So if there's like some Chrismukkah carol, that would be great,
Perfect. You can work on it.
Yeah, maybe I'll write it.
And Rachel, sorry.
Yeah, one thing I liked about this movie is that it didn't try to pretend that everything is better or as good by yourself. Like, I think that would have been emotionally dishonest to pretend that way. So I'm just curious what you think about that, and I guess what Christmas activity or holiday activity, in your case, do you think it would be as fun or more fun by yourself?
Well, it's always more fun with other people, I think, and it's certainly when you're celebrating, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like to celebrate on my own. Who does? But Lindsay bought that when she was kind of doing all these activities on her own. Her character, she really bought those layers of like, I'm having a great time. I'm pretending to have a great time. I think I'm having a great time. Am I having a great time? I don't think I'm having a great time. There's all those layers there with that performance, and it makes so much sense because as I just said, like, for me, during the holidays, we do all the Christmas stuff here. I mean, my wife's running the house, so it's on at this place. We've got a Christmas tree with a Star of David on top of it. We've got all the little elves sitting around the place. We've got we got it all going on. But what would I want to do alone at Christmas? I don't know about that. I really, everything's better together, isn't it?
Mhm.
This
Yeah.
time of year, for sure. I'll save the alone time for the new year.
As long as you're getting along with everybody.
Yeah, that's right. Exactly right. Well, the thing is, we had our little, Friendsgiving here, and it's a new tradition for us, me being Australian, my wife being Polish. And, we had a few friends around and all that kind of stuff. But I love Thanksgiving. I think it's an amazing traditional holiday and really solely American. There's this beautiful American holiday that is just for Americans. Thanksgiving is just one of those special American holidays, and I love that. It makes me feel more. I became a citizen, a dual citizen, in 2020, and it's one of my favorite parts. I'm feeling like, yeah, I got my Thanksgiving, routine down now. But I don't have any family here, and you always hear of these, like, and you see them in movies all the time as well. Those awkward family moments at Thanksgiving time. Uncle Bill said the wrong thing at the wrong time. All that kind of stuff. So, but no, we love those traditions. In our house for sure.
You talked about awkward family moments. There's a great scene in this movie, a party scene. I'm thinking specifically about the party with your family, Cooper's family. And it's such a fun scene to watch because there's so many moving parts in that scene. And so I'd love to hear from your perspective what it's like to film something. It's almost like choreographed with the number of people moving in and out and the way. I would just love to hear you talk about how that comes to be.
With a lot of hard work by a lot of departments and a lot of people. We were able to shoot in this beautiful home, but it was like, it's a good 5 or 6 page scene. And, in filmic terms, you can say, a 1 page setups and to do the thing on a movie like this, 2 hours. And then for every page, add an hour on top of that. Okay. So basically we were in this house really, I think, for shooting each part of this for it got up to about 10 hours because there were so many moving pieces and we had so many setups for this one scene. So it was an all day thing. So really it comes down to the DP working with the director to choreograph each section. And so rather than, having a handheld and following our actors through the entire house, because there's a lot of like section here, dialogue here, movement here, section here, they did the smart thing and broke it up. And so we ended up taking piece by piece. And then we did, of course, the wide shot where you see the whole picture. You've got the movement of the handheld camera. You've got the close-up coverage. It takes an army really to just put this thing together. And so that particular sequence was a lot of moving parts, and we just took it one step at a time. Like whenever I'm feeling overwhelmed in life, like I feel like I've got a lot on my plate. My dad, when I was a kid, he's just, when I was feeling a little bit like freaking out about whatever, I've got to do this and I've got this and I've got this, he would say, "How do you eat an elephant?" Like, I don't know, one bite at a time, just one thing at a time, And so that kind of always stuck with me whenever I feel a little bit like I've got so much on my plate, I've got so much going on. How do you eat an elephant? One bite, one thing at a time, one bite at a time, And so it was like that with this scene. We just took one bite at a time and took that little section, moved on to the next. And so what seemed like this huge thing ended up just being a lot of little things that we accomplished through the day. So that's how we did it. It was a lot of choreography. It was a lot of, moving cameras around and lights around and camera setups, and it took time, and we had to sort of remember where we left off as well. So you got to keep that energy. Where was that energy for that last moment? This is 2 hours later and we're doing the next moment, so but that's a job, and everyone on this one was so slick and so in the pocket of what their role was on set, that it worked out really, really nicely in the end. Like I always say, and I've said this from the start, and this is how I sort of view myself when I'm on set. I'm just one piece of the puzzle, and you're the other, and you're the other, and you're the other. And if we can all just put our piece where it's meant to be, then we can create the right picture, you know? So we all just do our little jobs as best we can. And really it's, you see our faces on the screen, but really there's 100 people working behind the scenes that are making that work, you know? So, yeah.
I'd like to take a second to thank our sponsor for this episode of the podcast. It's Uncommon Goods. The countdown is on. Holiday shopping season is officially here. Uncommon Goods takes the stress out of gifting with thousands of unique, high-quality finds you won't see anywhere else. Don't wait. The most meaningful gifts get scooped up fast, and now is the perfect time to cross names off your list. What I really liked when I looked at their website is that you can go to the exact category of the person that you're shopping for. So you can look for gifts for women. And then in particular, they have a whole section for moms, for grandmas, for wives, for teenagers. And within each of those categories, there's all these creative ideas. And I had a lot of fun looking at the teen category. I have some nieces and different things that, would be fun to shop for. And I love the creativity in so many of the gifts. You've got create your own reel viewers. You've got a photo and label printer. I definitely think there is something for everybody, and it's worth checking out their site. And it's also nice that when you shop at Uncommon Goods, you're supporting artists and small independent businesses. Many of their handcrafted products are made in small batches, so shop now before they sell out this holiday season. And with every purchase you make at Uncommon Goods, they give back $1 to a nonprofit partner of your choice. They've donated more than $3.1 million to date. So don't wait. Cross those names off your list before the rush. To get 15% off your next gift, go to uncommongoods.com/Hallmarkies. That's uncommongoods.com/Hallmarkies for 15% off. Uncommon Goods. We're all out of the ordinary.
So I have a fan question. Not a fan question, a fan request.
Yeah.
I don't know if you peruse social media or have been spying on any, pages or whatever, but you are always talked about, always. Like they can't let go of how much they love Mountie Jack. And just they're so excited. Fans are so excited. They're going to love this because all the new content that we're getting fed is like they're talking about that. So what is it that you would like to say to the fans? Like this could be like their little Christmas gift, a message from you. What would you like to say to them?
Well, thanks for the opportunity, Roxanne. It's, thank you. That's all I want to say is thank you. I'm grateful. I very occasionally in one's career, they will do a part that translates to a lot of people. And that show, it's going to be going for 30 years, I actually spoke to Laura yesterday. She's going back. I don't know if you heard,
Right.
but yeah.
Exciting.
So yeah, we're going back and forth. We'll get catching up in January. But yeah, that part translated to a lot of people. It's set up all these movies that I'm doing with Hallmark and in this world right now. And I'm grateful to everyone out there for supporting me, not only through When Calls a Heart, but not only through the Christmas movies, but I get a lot of love online, and whenever I meet people. I'm doing a Christmas convention actually in
Next
couple of weeks. Yeah, next weekend. Thanks. Yeah, in New Jersey. So that's going to be really fun as well. You're going to go?
I'm a New Jersey girl. Yeah.
Fantastic. I'm going to see you. Great. Are you coming? Yes.
Yes.
Great, perfect. Can't wait to meet you. So things like that, where it's funny. You see someone through a screen, you see an actor through a screen. They're playing a part, but you only really get to kind of feel someone when you are around them. You can feel their energy. We're just all balls of energy, right? And so I really get a sense of who someone is, but when I'm sure, you can get an idea, but when you're around someone, you can feel the kind of, warmth they have, or whatever it is, energy they have. I'm a big believer in that, and I like meeting people in person. And anytime that I've met fans of mine, it's always been really heartwarming and a nice ego boost as well. I'm not going to lie, always, because it just is that stuff. But you know, um,
Good answer.
yeah,
Good answer,
yeah.
Dan.
Thanks, mate. You get me. Yeah, yeah. It's lovely. It's lovely.
Stephanie?
Dan, you shared some we are getting the excitement that you experienced in this movie and how much you enjoyed making it. So I'm curious if there's a particular scene that you're really excited for fans to experience.
Yeah, I love all those like you were talking about before, those kind of like unspoken moments when the relationship kind of develops. I love playing that stuff. I love those little moments. But I really like the scene where I take her to a college reunion mixer and we dance together and have a talk about, you know, she asked me why I'm still single, and I say I hate that question. Why you asking me that? I always get asked that. So that scene for me um, is the is the scene that really focuses in on what makes each of these characters tick. Like I think it's better like to kind of like be single, and if you want that, then that's just as good as being with someone, or whatever. So we get to see his point of view, we get to see her point of view, her internal questioning, and we get to see where these two are kind of like in opposition of each other in regards to the way they view relationship and romance. The energy of that scene is good because there's chemistry. She gets to him a little bit as well. And I think there's a lot going on. So I love that scene. We're dancing together as well. We're in close, intimate proximity, and the conversation matches that energy. And then the last scene, I can't help it. I just think that there was a vulnerability to that scene with his character from the first guy that we met. That's like, I'm the man, to like, I'm not the man. I'm crazy. I don't want to give it away. Sorry.
Yeah.
But I like. I think that's a beautiful moment.
Yeah. Good moments.
Suspenders unbuttoned.
Yeah. So viewers love watching their favorite Christmas movies or holiday movies every season. What about Single on the 25th will make this movie one they want to watch year after year?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think this might be my favorite one that I've done, maybe ever. And I think it's because that this is not an obvious journey. That's what I love about it. I think this is set in we got a different kind of jumping off point. We've got a really contrasting points of view in regards to relationship, not in regards to a job, not in regards to an activity, but in regards to actually the core of the characters have opposing relationship views, and you don't often get that. Sometimes you'll get two characters that are bumping heads on something external, but this is they're bumping heads on something internal, and I love that. And that for me speaks to the depth of this movie and these characters, and how that as they change individually, because Nell grows outward, Cooper grows inward,
True.
and it's a really, that for me is evergreen territory in regards to watchable characters and good scenes that have a little bit of that nice, delicious energy between two characters, where there's that sexual tension there between a man and a woman, and that romance factor, and we're very different people, you know? And so when you've got those two things pulling against each other, then you've got a recipe for a watchable movie.
Yeah, I think people are going to want to revisit it year after year and watch those characters.
I hope so. Yeah. I hope they all watch it on Sunday.
Yes.
Yeah, hopefully, because then I might get another job with Hallmark next year.
They will. They will.
Yes.
If you only had 3 words to describe Single on the 25th to audiences, what would those 3 words be? Or could you even narrow it down? I guess would be the real question.
I'll say fun, funny, endearing, romantic. That's about it, right? Good job.
No, perfect.
A+.
You got it. A+.
Well, you mentioned this a little bit, but usually finance guys are kind of the bad guys in Hallmark movies. So I was curious of how you brought like warmth to your character, and that was that something you thought about? Like, oh, this is usually kind of not the good guy in the Hallmark movie.
No, I mean, I didn't think of it like that. I have a lot of mates that are in finances in Sydney, especially, and they're all like the sweetest, warmest men that I know, you know.
Because they're usually like the city guys who then, you know, they fall in love with the hometown hunk, so they leave the finance guy, you know.
You know, there's a lot of stereotypes out there, and we play on these stereotypes, and the stereotypes exist for a reason. You know, they're you know, when enough people behave in a certain way, you kind of go, all right, he's one of those. But you know, I try not to, when I'm doing a job or an audition or whatever it is, or writing a character, I never try and judge the character as the actor. Like if he's a finance guy, he must sort of be a bit of a douche. Don't get me wrong, I put a little bit of that element in, but only enough to just to walk the line a little, just a touch, you know, a sprinkle. But you know, I just take each individual character as if me, Daniel Lissing, was in finance. How would I be if I didn't have a sister? If I grew up in the United States, I'd sort of put myself or in those imaginary circumstances and try and play it as honestly as possible. What am I hiding? All that kind of stuff. So, yeah, I definitely we had a great actor playing my buddy in the movie, and he really sort of laid into that kind of energy, but in such a funny way, I thought, in such a like sweet way. And then later in the movie, when his character kind of opens up, I thought that was a great moment. You know, I don't know how that translated watching it, but for me, playing that and knowing that, yeah, he played the stereotype a little bit, and then underneath, you just scratch the surface of someone. Really, as soon as you scratch the surface of someone with a bit of kindness, man, you know, all the stereotypes go away, and you just get to the core of the human.
You mentioned a little bit earlier that you were pitching some projects to Hallmark. I would love to know what your ideal project is. I mean, we're talking Hallmark, so I assume there will be a romance, but do you want to make comedies or dramas or mystery? What's that look like for you?
Look, I think for me, it's Hallmark is romantic comedies are in the DNA of Hallmark. You know, that for me is where, whether it be a destination romance, a Christmas movie, a holiday movie, whatever it is, you know, that romantic comedy element is really core to to the storytelling. I think that's what fans come to expect when they tune into Hallmark. Maybe the mystery movies are a little different. They slant in different. There's a little bit more dramatic and whatever. But for me, it's all about the romance. It's all about finding love in circumstances that can take you on that journey of levity and juxtaposition of characters. That's where the comedy is, and then have them come together in a soulful, connected way. So, yeah, whatever I'm doing in this world, it's got to have those elements for me to be excited about it. And luckily, everything I've ever done has had that in one way or another.
We'd like to take a second to thank our sponsor for this episode of the podcast. It's the good folks at Aura Frames. And Aura Frames makes digital picture frames that become the ideal gift, especially for that person that is difficult to buy presents for. Aura Frames, you can give something meaningful that's also easy. And a lot of those meaningful gifts can be very time intensive, but this has that personalization, but it doesn't take a lot of time. You can preload images and video onto the frame before it ships. Plus, you can continually update and add new photos throughout the year. So this would be a great way to involve loved ones that are maybe far away, that don't get to be part of your everyday life. You want to share those experiences, those photos. You can, this would be a great gift for somebody like that because you can continually upload it through the year. You can also personalize the gift, adding a message before it arrives. For a limited time, save on the perfect gift by visiting auraframes.com to get $35 off Aura's best-selling Carver matte frames, named #1 by Wirecutter, by using promo code Hallmarkies at checkout. That's Aura Frames, AURA Frames.com, promo code Hallmarkies. This deal is exclusive to listeners and frames sell up fast, so order yours now to get it in time for the holidays. Support the show by mentioning us at checkout. Terms and conditions apply.
Okay, so we have about 10 minutes left. I don't know if everybody could just ask one more question and then we'll wrap up. Thank you. Starting with Roxanne, sorry.
Okay,
Yeah.
Daniel. So every time I see you in a movie or series, I'm like, that's his perfect scene partner, great chemistry. Then I watch another one, I'm like, no, that's his perfect scene partner, great chemistry. And I just decided that, you know what, you're just like the Hallmark guy. So if you could give advice to the guys that are trying to be the next Hallmark guy, like in Finding Mr. Christmas, the reality TV show that they have on Monday nights, I'm curious to know what you would say to them. Like, what is it? What's like that little?
Yeah, it's really easy.
Okay.
Make it all about her.
Oh,
That's it. Just don't worry about what you're doing. Forget about it. It is just all about her. Anything you say, anything you do, wonder what is she going to think of this? How can I connect to her? Whoa, what is she doing now? I'm so interested. Just like I would give that advice to any actor in any scene. You've got your stuff, but unless you're doing a monologue to the mirror, it's not about you. It's about either the us of the scene or the her of the scene, the them of the scene.
nice.
So that's it. That's my advice.
Very generous. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, odds are there are going to be individuals watching this movie who are actually spending Christmas alone. So, what do you hope this movie offers them?
That I don't believe anyone is. Yeah, I don't want to get too deep right now. Actually, I was going to say I don't believe anyone is truly ever really alone. Loneliness is one thing, and that's a real thing, and that's something too many people deal with. But to be alone, to be with oneself, like I was saying before, in acting, right? In acting, we make it too much about ourselves, and we don't worry about what's happening in the world around us. In acting, make it about them. When it comes to being alone, Chris, let's use this in a general term, alone whenever. I need that alone time to fill my cup, and I don't make it about what's happening externally. It's all about the fulfillment internally. And so once you're able to fill your cup with however that is, it's not about what I don't have out there or what's lacking here, this and that. Forget all that. The only thing that matters is filling your own cup internally. However you do that, however makes you the most happy and fulfilled within yourself. Then when you're in that place, if you decide that you want to share that with someone else, then you can, put that full cup out into the world. But I think a lot of people, look out into the world and use comparison, or come from a place of want or lack, and it's not out there. Happiness doesn't lie out there. It lies in here. And so I know I'm getting deep now with this because it's an important thing, especially at the holidays. There are a lot of people out there that don't have the luxury, the benefits of spending it with other people, with family, with a loved one, with a romantic partner, whatever that is. I remember when I first came here, I was alone. I wasn't lonely, but I was alone for my first few Christmases here when I was in the States, or holidays, and everyone was with their families, and I was just sort of sitting at home twiddling my thumbs. And I was like, all right, what can I do to kind of make myself feel a little bit better about myself? That's all I'll say. It's just fill your cup and then let your light shine, and then go out there in the world. I with questions like this, I get a little deep, but also I realize that I'm only coming from the perspective of a 40-year-old man from Australia who, has an acting career and a wife sitting in the other room. So my perspective is very different from the people that might be listening to this. And so what do I know, really? I mean, honestly,
No, but I think
advice,
that's so important. And there are people that need that wisdom and experience that. So, I mean, so important.
Yeah. Thanks, Stephanie.
Okay, I wanted to bring it back to Single on the 25th really quick and talk about Cooper. You mentioned that he can come off as, let's just say, uptight, and that you had created a backstory that he was really quite happy being a single, let's say. So what kind of characteristics did maybe you bring from creating that backstory to our screen that viewers can watch for? Maybe a little Easter egg you can tell us to look for.
All right. So I'll give you one. What makes a guy like Cooper really not want to be in a relationship? What makes him walk into a restaurant and say, never sit in the corner, stay by the bar? I gave him the story that, he's heartbroken. He has been badly hurt, and he was broken up in a restaurant at a table sitting in the corner, and they're in the corner, and that's why I love sitting in the corner of a restaurant, but why doesn't Cooper like it? Oh, because that's why he wants to be single. He was broken up in the corner of a restaurant like 2 years ago, and he's like, it broke his heart so badly that he just went shield up, that's it, walls up, guarded heart, and I'm just going to be the man. All right, no one's going to touch me now, no one's going to hurt me, no one's going to get to me. And when I'm giving advice, listen, because I've been there, done that, and chasing love, it doesn't work. That kind of energy. And so that when he walks in with Nell to the restaurant, and he's like, I'm making sure we have a table, never in the corner, not by the back, whatever, he says. That was my backstory for that little moment.
I love that. It's always so fun to hear the backstories the actors give to their characters. So thank you.
Right.
Yeah.
Of course, Sarah. Yeah.
Well, I just would love to know, what is your favorite rom-com?
Oh, that's the hardest question of the day. Honestly, I am such a movie buff. I never stop watching television movies. If you could see my day to day, if I'm not writing and in the writer's room with my partners and whatever, if I on the weekend, mate, I am a couch potato. I I literally spend all day, my eyes go square for watching so many movies. So to ask me that terrible question of what my favorite one is out of all the like hundreds and hundreds of beautiful rom-coms that I love so much. Ooh, I
How about
can't.
if I give you top 3? Is that still too much?
All right, okay, I'll be honest. I think that they don't do rom-coms like the 90s anymore. Those 90s rom-coms for me, French Kiss, You've Got Mail, Sleepless in Seattle, same team. All Meg Ryan, by the way. You know, what else? I mean, there's so many rom-coms that I just love. Even How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days. I mean, I love that, man. It's just, I'm a cheeseball, man. I love it all. And I cry. I'm a crier as well. Just want to get that out there now. So if I'm at a premiere one day watching a movie and there's a photo of me going, it's because I watch these movies and I love the cheese, man. I love it. It's great. It's so good. But those 90s rom-coms for me are really, they're special ones.
I think we all agree. And it's nice to know that they're coming back in some form, that they're definitely, that love hasn't gone away and they're trying to revive them. So I love it.
100%. Yeah. I hope that they start doing more theatrical releases with rom-coms with a bit of a budget.
Yeah.
I think they tried, you just keep it simple. Just keep it simple and have two actors that can create that magic, and yeah, I hope rom-coms come back, and I hope people start going to the movies and watching them because, yeah, they're good. They're good for the soul.
Thanks.
Yeah.
So I'm curious, is there any Christmas or Hanukkah tradition in Australia that you think we should know about and adopt here? Do you think it's good?
We're so tied. Australia and America are like this in regards to their, kind of traditions. We listen to all the American songs, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. It's all that beautiful American
like golden
Christmas
syrup or Vegemite or that kind of thing.
Well, Vegemite. I mean, that's not a good. That's just a beautiful tradition. Chef's kiss. Vegemite.
Year round.
I'm not gonna lie. I might have had some Vegemite today. Yeah, I love it. It's not a real Christmas tradition. It's different because we have Christmas in the summertime, right? And so one of the things that, yeah, sure, we do the turkey and the crackling pork thing and or potatoes and all that kind of great holiday food. But one of the things that we do during the summertime at Christmas in Australia is we do, I don't want to say a shrimp on the barbie because we don't do that, but we call them prawns, and we have like fresh seafood. We have a bunch of fresh seafood, and prawns are like center table. But I don't know if that would go really well in the middle of, an American winter. So, but we got all the same stuff, like the mistletoe and all the stuff that and all the songs that we love here is in Australia. So it's like 85 degrees outside, and it's like, let it snow, let it snow, let it snow. And like, great, cool, awesome.
Yeah. To wrap up our discussion of Single on the 25th, if you could add one extra scene to the movie, or if there's a scene that was filmed that we didn't get to see, what would that be?
I would have loved a dinner scene with Mum and Dad, me and Nell, Cooper and Nell. I think that it wasn't in the script, but when I was kind of envisioning them sort of on their journey of closeness, that we have a few moments where kind of Nell gets a glimpse into who this guy is and what's in his core and all that kind of stuff. But I always love family history is such a crucial step to getting to know somebody, getting to know the parents, having those intimate, mundane moments. So, and I love the actors that were playing mum and dad as well. They're great actors from Montreal. And they were just spot on with it. Super fun on set. Just gave so much. We were all giving actors, which made it so fun. But yeah, I would like a intimate family dinner scene with some maybe probing questions from mum, and some awkward moments of like, can you not show the baby pictures? Wait, what are you telling her? I was being single and heartbroken. Come on. What is this? And Nell's like, I'm loving what I'm hearing right now. That kind of energy. There would have been something fun about that, but yeah, that's it. It wasn't in there, and we didn't need it at all. It's just answering your question.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Okay, on that note, thank you everyone for coming with such great questions. And thank you, Daniel, for giving us an hour of your time. We really appreciate it. And I guess, I'll stop recording. Hold on.
We should say that they need to tune in on Sunday night, 8 Eastern, 7 Central, which is what is that, the 8th? Is that the 8th?
It's on the 7th.
On the 7th.
It's 7th. Sorry. Sunday the 7th.
Yeah.
Sunday the 7th, right? Okay.
And streaming next day on Hallmark Plus. Okay.
Yes.
Thank you, Roxanne. And now I will stop the recording.
So thanks again to Daniel and to Hallmark for this fun opportunity, this fun junket. I really enjoyed it. And I thought his answers were really charming and insightful. And you can just see why he keeps getting these roles for Hallmark. And so let us know what you think about all the different things that we talked about. We would love to hear your thoughts in the comment section, or if you are following us on all social medias, then you can let us know on there. You can find me at Rachel's Reviews all over the place. Really appreciate that help. And at KSL Movie Show right now, I am subbing in and really enjoying that. And that's every week. I would love for your support with that. If you are listening on iTunes, please leave your ratings and reviews. We really, really appreciate that. And if you are watching on YouTube, please give the video a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. And also we have the Patreon group, which is the biggest way you can support everything that we're doing and get to be part of watch-alongs and Q&As and really fun, cool opportunities. Plus you can listen to the podcast ad-free right now if you become a Patreon member. And then we have our merch store where we have tons of Hallmark-inspired designs. We have tons of movie-inspired designs, holiday-inspired designs. So check that out. And thanks again to Daniel and to Hallmark and other podcasters. Really appreciate it. And we'll talk to y'all later. Bye.